Hello, this is Carlos Millsap. I'm glad you guys are able to join this recording. This recording is simply going to walk you through the process in which I use when I'm going to qualify a client. I'm also going to, excuse me for clearing my throat. I'm also going to introduce you to some tools that are a particular tool that I use that I think is quite beneficial um, to someone being successful in the final expense industry. It helps you to quickly do a comparison of what's out there, what's available. Now, keep in mind that as we use this one particular tool that you see on my screen right now, which is Quick Quote Life, uh, you're going to see that there's going to be some carriers on there that have lower payments than the carrier that you may be appointed with. Don't let that alarm you. You have to let your confidence in that you're giving your clients the best service uh, prevail. We can't always give them the lowest, but it's okay. Remember, people do business with people whom they know, like, and trust. And so you want to become that confident, that person that they know, like, and trust. You're giving them the best service that you can possibly give them. You're building rapport with them. You're building your credibility with them. So don't get dismayed by not being the cheapest. You just want to be the best, okay? So what I'm going to do, just to kind of give you an overview, is that I'm going to go through this particular tool that you can use. It also acts as a CRM, but it's a calculator. It has a lot of different tools that you'll have access to. Number one. Then I'm going to use one carrier. Even though there's a bunch of different carriers, I'm going to trust that you will have the opportunity to go through and, if you don't already know, and understand the dynamics of that particular carrier, understand their procedures, their process, so that you can quickly navigate through it once you have a client that's ready to do the application. But I want to make sure that you understand the steps for anybody that want a refresher or someone who's new to this. This may not be for veterans. You may even have a better system than I have. Uh, this is one thing that I'm learning about this business is that we can always learn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Royal Neighbors of America, which is one of the carriers I happen to like a lot because there's some value-added benefits that they provide for the client at no additional cost that none of the other carriers offer, and their rates are always competitive. They're always really competitive as far as their rates are concerned. They're not always going to be the lowest, but they're going to, be right there midstream, and they approve a lot of people. That's the one thing that I like is being able to utilize a carrier that is going to approve a lot of my clients. There's some carriers that, based upon the prescription database, uh, certain ailments they won't cover. But now, keep in mind, as we're talking to these clients, what's in the back of their head? I tell you what's in the back of their head, what's in the back of their mind. They are thinking that they may not get qualified because of their health issues. Okay. Now, it is we like to comfort them and tell them, oh, this is not going to be a problem. But guess what? When you do that, you take away your power, your position. It's okay to, that's your takeaway. When they do have a health concern, it's okay to write it out. It's okay to work with it. It's okay to allow that doubt to be there. Okay? Because that issue that they may have with their medication or their health that's a concern for them, that can be the sense of urgency that you can use in order to help them go ahead and make a decision. We have to understand that these people are professional procrastinators. They don't have a policy because they know they have this fear that they cannot overcome, and that's the fear being taken advantage of. And because they have this fear of being taken advantage of, they fail to take care of the business that they need to take care of. So we as professionals have to help them make that decision. Okay, we have to push them along in the decision making process. We don't have to be pressure, but we have to give them let them see that this is a decision that they need to make, and that this is a decision that they need to go ahead and make now. There's no reason for them to wait. There's no reason at all for them to wait. So help them as a good agent. Help them to go ahead and make the right decision. Help them to go ahead and protect their family and get peace of mind. Okay? So with that being said, I'm going to go through this tool, Quick Quote Life. It's a great tool. I love it. I'm going to go through the Royal Neighbors of America's calculator. I'm going to go through another tool that I use as far as client criteria, because we need to know different carriers and what what they like and what they don't like. Each carrier have their idiosyncrasies, and so that's something that we need to at least have access to. This tool right here, Quick Quote Life, it tells you real quick, but if you don't have this, there's other ways, other means of finding it out. Okay, I'm also going to go through the application, because when you talking to somebody and now they're telling you about the ailments that they have, you want to know if you can get this person approved, okay, or not, before you waste a lot of time. What we're trying to do in this entire process is we're trying to be fast, efficient, and we want to know as much information as we quickly can. So it's a balance. It's a balance. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so this right here is a quick quote. Now in this tool, there's many things that's available. Right now we're in the agent back office. So as we go through here, you can add a client. So it's a CRM. You can set your callbacks. You can do client search, and then you can also send out emails. Now in Agent Tools, you can upload your leads. There's a website that you can have available to you. Therefore, if you have somebody that's kind of on the rocks about doing something, you can send them to your website and have them take a look. You also have a landing page. Then there's a simple letter that you can actually send out to the clients as well. Okay, and then you have support. Now let me show you something here. Now when you have somebody on the phone, and the thing I like about this particular tool is I can add a client. So now I'm going into and I'm going to add a client. And what this is going to do is it's going to help me to qualify this person. So I can go in here. Now you notice that there's some boxes that are in green. Those are the only boxes that you have to put something in. Okay, the only boxes that you have to, except for amount required, you have to put something in there as well. So let's say we have a female that is 5'2", and let's say she's 144 pounds. Okay, we'll say that her date of birth is July 18th, 1947. Okay, go ahead. It populates her age already. Okay, so now you also have to select the state. So let's just say that it's let's just say Florida. Okay. Now you go back up here and let's just say that it's going to be $5,000. Now, one of the things that I like, this tool also saves time. It saves time because you know, you put $5,000 in, it's also going to give you other increments just so that you don't have to go back and recalculate. So I like that a lot. So now you go ahead and we're going to go to the final expense questionnaire. It goes through all the health questions. So in this case, we're going to say everything's a no. Now we're just going to go ahead and get the quote. Now what's going to happen is that it's going to give me the top 12 carriers, whether I'm appointed with them or not. Okay, I'm not too concerned, even though I'm not, but here's what I want you to understand. In green here, right here in green, it says immediate coverage. That's what you're looking for. We're trying to help somebody get immediate coverage. If it's not immediate coverage, we'll explain to them the difference. You'll notice over here it gives the amount from $2,500 to $40,000, well, to $25,000 with this particular carrier, and it gives the monthly premium. Okay. You can also, instead of going all carriers, you can click and go just to your carriers if you want to do it that way. Okay, so like my carriers. Okay, so we have here, so let's say one of my carriers here is Royal Neighbors of America. I can get them immediate coverage. They go from 5,000 to 25,000. Okay, so if this particular case, I wanted to get this person 5,000, we're looking at $29.11 per month. See, I quickly compared a bunch of carriers. Okay, and that's a very useful and dynamic tool that that we have available to us. Now I'm going to show you something else real quick, and then I'm going to move on and go on to do some more on how to qualify. I'm going to go ahead and show you my website that I have here for this particular carrier, or excuse me, through this company. I'm going to show you two things. I'm going to show you that, and I'm going to show you my landing page. Oh, let me go back here. Paste. Okay, this is my landing page. A person can come in here and they can put the information in and showing my carriers. Has my phone number in there, my name. So that's my landing page. And this here is my actual website that was done through them. Okay, got my name up there, my phone number. So it's a very nice looking website, very professionally done. Okay, so this is something that you can have available to you. You know, they can come in here and get a quote, so they can go ahead and fill out the form, and then you'll get that. This will download. This would populate directly to your fresh leads as far as in your back office is concerned. So when you go in here to look for your clients, it'll populate as a fresh lead. Okay, so now let's take a closer look at Royal Neighbors of America. Okay, one thing I do want to tell you about Royal Neighbors of America is that when it comes to qualifying, most carriers want to look at a person's height and weight. They want to look at their height and weight. Royal Neighbors does not look at height and weight. Okay, remember that Royal Neighbors does not look at the height and weight. So I'm going to go to the rate calculator for Royal Neighbors. Okay, so this is what the Royal Neighbors calculator looks like. Okay, So we're going to go into this calculator. It's going to ask for, I can either put their age or their birth date. When it's highlighted in navy blue, that means that's what is selected. So we're going to say this person is 70. Okay. No tobacco. Female. Let's go ahead and say this person's in Florida. We're going to go next. Okay. The product that we're looking at is single issue whole life. Excuse me, simplified issued whole life. Simplified issued whole life. 5,000 to 25,000. Now they also have a graded death benefit. Okay. So we're looking at, let's say we're going to looking at 5,000. Let's say we're looking at 5,000. Let's and with monthly EFT calculate tells you $5,029.11 per month. Okay, real simple calculator. Okay, so that's the calculator. Now let's take a look at the Rural Neighbors application. Okay, now this is their point of sale agent worksheet. This is all we have to complete. Okay. Now this number here is very important because once we gathered all this information from the client, we need to call this number with the client on the line. Okay. Make sure you have your agent number, state that you're calling from, which we can say is the state of the client. You're going to mail it the policy to the agent. Excuse me, to the client. They're going to ask you that question. Did you personally review the ID of the owner? No, because we're talking on the phone, and it's okay that we didn't. Okay, we go ahead and give them the proposed insurance information. So you need to have all this information available because you're going to be the one that's going to be talking to Rural Neighbors when you get them on the phone. So you're going to provide them all this information, and then Rural Neighbors is going to confirm this with the client. Okay, for California or Florida only. Do you wish to designate another person to receive copies of the premium lapse notice? Yes or no? Okay. Do they have other insurance? Okay, you need to have the insurance company's name, whether it's life insurance or annuity, and then an amount. Are we replacing this policy? No. Okay. All right. Now, the beneficiary. Person's name, date of birth if you have it, relationship, and what percent they're going to receive. Okay. Plan simplified issue, or if they didn't qualify for this, go graded death benefit, $5,000 in this particular case. We're going to go with the accelerated living benefit rider, which is that if they have a terminal illness, they'll be able to get 50% of the face amount while they're still living. Automatic premium loan, we leave this unchecked because we don't want this person's policy to lapse for lack of payment. If they have money built up in this policy, we're going to let the payments, that money make the payments if they need it. Has the applicant used tobacco in any form in the last 12 months? No. And then what payment did you quote them? What's going to happen is that when you get Rural Neighbors on the phone, they're going to say, we have the payment as $50.31, which should be the same amount that you have. So they're basically confirming. Okay. EFT information. Type of account, checking. Monthly, payment withdrawal. So you know that we can only go up to the 28th day of the month in any given month, 28th day. Because February has 28 days. Therefore, if they chose the 30th, February is going to be a problem. If they choose the 31st, some months, that's going to be a problem because a lot of months only have 30 days. Now, this is for Social Security. Do you want it on the second, third, or fourth Wednesday of the month? Okay. Make sure you get the routing number and the account number. The physician's name, city, and state. Okay, now, this part right here, you don't have to get this, but I like to ask them about the prescriptions because This is going to allow me, once I ask them about their prescription, this is going to allow me to check their prescription against the list. And I'm going to go through the list here in a second. Now you can go ahead and start asking these questions. Now, following are the application medical questions that will be asked of your client during the interview. Okay. If any answer to the question 2 through 7 is yes, the proposed insured is not eligible for any coverage. So you ask these questions. Hopefully they're all no. Okay. All right. So now this next part, if questions 8 through 9 is yes, only graded death benefit is available. Okay. And that's it. It's a very simple application. All right. So it's basically a 2-pager. Now, when it comes to prescription, one of the things that we have to make sure is that we know of is go through this list. As you're going to notice, it has a medication name here, prescribed or refilled or taken within the time frame below 18 months. Within the last 18 months, it's a decline. Ever on this particular medicine, it's a decline. So pay attention to that. And this right here tells you what they're eligible for. Okay. If this medication was taken, it's graded within the last 2 years, it's graded death benefit. If it's beyond 2 years, they hadn't. Oh, I haven't taken that in 3-4 years. Okay, they may get approved for level. Okay, remember there's the level, graded, modified, and guaranteed. Those are the 4 levels of final expense that we look at. Level, graded, modified, and guaranteed. Level is going to be the best. That's the top tier. That's the one that we aim for when we're trying to help clients get a policy. Okay, now pay attention to this over here as well, because a person may take a particular medication, but and they can be taking that medication for different reasons. There's some medication you'll notice with some carriers that if they're taking medication for congestive heart failure, it's a decline. If they're taking it for hypertension or high blood pressure, then they can be approved as level. So just because they're taking that medication doesn't mean that it's going to be an automatic decline or it's going to be an approval. We have to make sure that we ask the questions. Okay, you are the field underwriter. Okay, you are the field underwriter, so you have to ask those questions. So make sure you go through the prescription checklist on all of your clients. All right, now a couple other things I want to just show you about Royal Neighbors is that they also have some other benefits that some of the other carriers don't have. Okay, they have a discount dental program. Okay. In most instances, members save 20 to 40% on most dental procedures. They get vision discounts, 10% to 60%. They get discount lab testing. They get discount legal services. They get MRI and CAT scans, 40 to 75%. Prescription discounts on drug medication, 10% to 85%. Hearing aid services. So that's an added value that you can provide to your client at no additional cost. So that's one of the things that I tell people that offer them. I actually had a client that I had put her through another carrier, and something happened with her payment. It didn't go through. And the carrier was going to, I didn't have Royal Neighbors at the time, and then this carrier was going to have me redo the application instead of resubmitting the payment. And in the conversation, she was talking about some dental issues, and so I switched her over to, and with those dental issues, she had to pay out of her pocket. So I switched her over to Royal Neighbors of America. And now she's going to be able to get this the dental work done and save money, out of her pocket, because since she's paying out of her pocket, she may as well save some money. And so she was very appreciative of that. Okay, so basically, as we go through, if we're going through our script, we have to make sure that we qualify our clients and make sure that we're putting them with the right carrier. Make sure that you know the carriers, that you know the carrier's product, so that you'll be able to help the clients get the right product right away. Okay. So now one other thing I just want to make sure that is that on this particular product here, it shows a bunch of other different carriers, and one of the things that we're going to work on is making sure that we have as many of the carriers as we possibly can, because we want to make sure that we help everybody that wants a policy get a policy, if they meet the criteria. And so if there's some carriers out there that they treat cigar smoking as a smoker, somebody who uses tobacco, and there's some carriers that don't use it, that will not hold that against them. So let's go out and get this business and help as many people as we possibly can. Thank you for listening. This is Carlos Millsap.